Hi Virgo, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to do the November general reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Virgo, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising signs, make sure to look for those as well. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what does not. If you have a personal concern, you can schedule something private with me in the description box below. I did a partial Celtic cross spread for the month of November. It's looking pretty good. So I'll go through these cards and then we'll get into this one by one. So your heart of the matter this month, we have the Queen of Wands. Cancer got this as well, so if you have Cancer in your chart. And crossing that energy, which is like your main challenge, we have the Ten of Swords, right? Yeah, 10. This is a new deck, Jungian Tarot, for those of you that are interested. Capricorn got Ten of Swords, so if you have Capricorn in your chart, look at that. Deep past affecting the present, we have the Judgment card. In your foundation, we have the Eight of Wands. Excellent. Crowning you, we have the Death card. In your fear position, we have the Six of Swords. Interesting. And in your outcome, we have the Prince of Wands reversed. Okay. So, let's look at this Queen of Wands that came up in the reverse. Yeah, Virgo, I feel like there's something that you guys have been struggling to access. Something within you, particularly related to your passion or your purpose. But you can feel that it's there. You can feel that it's there. You can feel your lack of access. And this month is kind of about clearing any stagnation or blocks so that you can access it fully and freely. Do I want to say anything else about that? The Queen of Wands can be related to authority. Sorry, Mercury retrograde totally affects my speech. My Mercury's in the third house, so it's really heavy for me. So I apologize in advance. So Queen of Wands can deal with authority, particularly picking up your own authority and your own power. Because in the reversal, there can be this fear of stepping into your authority. This could be because you don't want to be overly controlling. Or it could be because, you've had examples of authority in the past that just weren't very great. So there's this need to separate yourself from that kind of energy. But Queen of Wands, let's look at it in the upright. This is somebody who is authoritative but fair. And there's a bit of a free-spirited energy attached to Queen of Wands. Think like Sagittarius, right? There's a sense of knowing what you want and going after it. So there could just be this feeling of I don't know what I want. I don't know how to step into my power. And so, with the Ten of Swords here, this is a really good month to clear any negative self-talk about your position in life right now. Or what you want for the future, because whatever it is, you can get it. Just because it's in the reversal does not mean this energy in the upright isn't available to you. We have free will. It's coming out in the reversal just to show you that there is something to clear so that you can fully access this in the upright, but this is accessible. And I think this month is about, creating the circumstances under which you can access this in the upright, okay? So crossing that energy, we have the Ten of Swords. This is all about clearing, ending cycles, death, and we have the Death card as well, so it's kind of mirroring that. Ten of Swords can also come with grief. I'm not feeling a lot of grief. No, to me, this feels like you're pulling the swords out of your back. If you look at a traditional deck with the Rider-Waite, there's this figure, they're lying on the ground and they have 10 swords in their back. This is feeling like the swords are being pulled out. It's kind of like one by one, I just see you going ch-ch-ch-ch. So, this is really, really good. This is what's going to help you access this Queen of Wands energy. In relation to your purpose, your drive, your career, your passion, anything like that. Your vision as well. Yeah, this is you just directly taking a pretty direct path to clearing that stagnation or blockage by clearing energy out and just pulling the swords out of your back. Ten of Swords, the ten of any element is, the ending of a cycle. So with that, there's kind of a natural grief, there's kind of a natural waning back into yin, right? It's kind of like the last gasp. So Ten of Swords can be a little bit triggering. It's because those triggers are coming out for you to clear them. So whatever comes out for you this month, I would just recommend you be really proactive about it and take these triggers head on. And that's what's going to create this next cycle for you where you're going to have so much more access to your power and your vision and your purpose, okay? Deep past affecting the present. We have the Judgment card. Who else got the Judgment card? I can't remember. I really like this Judgment deck, or like the card in this deck. It may be my favorite Judgment card that I've ever seen because it's simple and yet it captures the essence of a Judgment card from like a classic tarot deck. I mean, you have the people coming out of the coffins, you have like the kind of the person blowing the horn is the signal, right? And this is all about massive transformation, massive enlightenment, and like leveling up your frequency. So, I mean, I this doesn't feel like it's super deep past. This feels like it's pretty present, or this is something that you've been working on for most of the year or several years, Virgo. Or if you've had an awakening in the past that you've maybe just kind of lost track of or put aside for whatever reason, that's coming in really strongly. Like you guys have had a moment of enlightenment, and then it felt like after that moment you were kind of done, and so you let go, or you like sunk back into your old stories or something like that. Yeah, that's coming in really strongly, and then this Ten of Swords is kind of lighting up for me. So yeah, this is about stories and narratives that you have done work to free yourself from, but then it kind of feels like you keep cycling back. Yeah, that's really strong. But this is in the upright. I think you guys may just be thinking back to a time where you did have a massive awakening or like a massive leveling up moment, and you're trying to see how you can apply that kind of moment or that kind of moment of enlightenment or that clarity to your present and your future, so that you could really integrate it in a new way. And it will give you access to that Queen of Wands energy that we were discussing, which is really the central point to all this. So I'm going to keep coming back to it. In your foundation, we have the Eight of Wands. This is great. This is one of my favorite cards. This is taking action. You are taking action to clear these patterns. You're being proactive. With the Eight of Wands comes a lot of communication. So it looks like you are actively talking about your process with other people in your life. With the Eight of Wands comes a lot of momentum. So it's like the more work you do, the more you're able to do. And it kind of creates this natural progression that seems to kind of exponentiate in terms of your growth and your expansion this month. And this is in the upright, and it's also a Wands. So think about this. I mean, you can really rely on this energy to access this Queen of Wands, because I mean, this fire is here for you. It is here in the upright, and it's going to propel you towards, a deeper truth of your soul that you're like preparing yourself to access. And this is what's grounding you this month. This is what's keeping you stable. So like I said before, I would recommend that you keep taking action. I think this is going to be like a really, a busy month for you in terms of your own personal development. I'm not getting a lot of hits towards the external environment at all, but I mean, this could be like the Queen of Wands could also be like you're gunning for a promotion at work, where you're stepping into a leadership role or something like that. That can also be true. Crowning you this month, the Death card. So you're ending a cycle. We said that with the Ten of Swords already. This is kind of like the last gasp of any of that old energy, and it's surfacing. Even if it's intense, it's surfacing because it's ready to be cleared, so that you can kind of move on to this new cycle in a good way. So keep in mind, November is about ending a cycle, not necessarily starting a new one. So tie up your loose ends this month so that you can fully move on. I like this Death card too. I really like the Major Arcana in this deck. This feels really good to me. This feels all good. This feels like a cycle that you're ready to let go of. This is in your divine inspiration position. So, if you work with death as a helping spirit, that could be really helpful this month. Because it's showing up upright and it's showing up in divine inspiration. This is a purely energetic experience for you, where you are tying up these loose ends and you have the divine behind you. You may get some sort of energetic download or receive something this month that helps you let something go that you've maybe had difficulties letting go of in the past. And this month, for some reason, this time, it feels like you can just let it go, whether that's just old patterns and behaviors or stories you tell yourself, or it could be a relationship or a career, or something more substantial in your life. But I feel like you're just letting go of old energy within your body, like within your field that's no longer serving you. Feels really good. In your fear position this month, we have the Six of Swords. This is about change. It came up in the reverse. We all fear change, obviously. I said that to Leo. So as you're clearing out these patterns with the Ten of Swords, some pressure points maybe hit this month. Just going back to, like I was saying, you might be triggered a lot in this month. And it may feel like some energy is coming in pretty sharp. Be careful of take care of your like energetic boundaries this month, making sure that you have, protection in place and that nothing outside of yourself is like coming in to harm you, whether that's, energy or like energy from the collective, stories that are going on right now, or just like from people in your life. This is not a typical way that I read the Six of Swords. Usually it's just, and the reversal can show up and say that it's like hard to transition out of something. And it may be true, like maybe there's some stories or narratives or like, pieces of your identity that you're like afraid to let go of. That could come with the Death card as well. It just feels like somebody in your life is giving you a hard time or pressure, or giving you a sense of like applying pressure to you. It doesn't feel particularly disruptive. I think it may just be a little wobble moment for you in this month. And it's a really natural process when you're going through so much transformation. We have transformational energy here. We have the Judgment card, we have the Death card, we have the Ten of Swords. And so as you're letting go of parts of yourself that don't serve you, you're showing up differently. And that means that the relationships in your life have to, they'll change in some way because you're showing up differently, maybe with new boundaries, new expectations, or like new needs from the people in your life. So I think the fear this month is like the need to change certain relational dynamics. This could be with family or friends or partners. And I think it's just because in that shift where somebody else realizes something has changed and they have to adjust, anger or confusion can come up with them because, people like homeostasis in terms of, their relationships. So when those boundaries change in any way, it's naturally kind of disruptive. And so just keep in mind that might be messy or weird. We're still in Mercury retrograde. We will be in its shadow period. I mean, it ends on the 3rd. It'll be in its shadow period till the 19th, so communication is going to be a little wonky, a little messy this month. Mars leaves retrograde on the 13th. And so if you're dealing with, people that are kind of pressuring you or triggering you in the first half of the month, there could be a bigger fallout than there will be in the latter half of the month. So I would encourage you to just check your anger level, check your temper, especially this first half of the month. Make sure that you're not speaking too impulsively if people are coming at you, because it's going to create more of a problem than there is in reality, just because the planetary positions are so weird right now. And so I would maybe, if you're working up the courage to have a big conversation with someone, I would do it after the 20th. If you can. I mean, you can't always control those things. Some of you may have a big blowout, not all of you. Some of you may have already had a big blowout. Now you're kind of dealing with the fallout of that. I'm getting a strong family hit, like a strong one. Yeah, I mean, you're changing, so your dynamics need to change. I mean, that's the crux of this, is you're going to be coming to the table with new boundaries and possibly new needs or expectations. And I would just recommend that you let go of the need for things to go a certain way, like the need for it to be smooth, or like the need to like take care of somebody else's feelings when it comes to this, because you don't have a lot of control over that. And it will help you approach this in a good way if you can kind of honor your own boundaries and recognize that their response to you isn't completely your responsibility. Like, show up to the table in the best way that you possibly can, as calmly as you can, as articulately as you can, but then let go of the outcome, and do what you need to do for you and your own health and well-being. Okay. Outcome this month. Prince of Wands reversed. Okay, so something about this feels nostalgic, and again, I don't usually read this card this way, but something about this feels nostalgic to me. Like you're kind of thinking back to a time when you felt more freedom, or you were more in tune with like your innermost like needs or wants or vision for the future, or like the life for yourself. I feel some regret. This can come with the Ten of Wands as well. Ten of Swords, I'm sorry. Some regret in terms of like grieving steps you maybe didn't take in the past, or like if only this had happened, or if only that, right? And keep in mind, if only is a trigger word. Like if you're saying that, there's something to clear in your field. Yeah, I mean, your relationship with this Queen of Wands is kind of your central preoccupation right now. This could also be a relationship, because we have the Queen and the Prince here. With that, it could be a relationship that's just slightly out of balance in terms of experience. Like it could be like a parent and a child or something like that, or it could just be an intimate partnership where somebody's, significantly older or more experienced than the other person, or they just have more power in the relationship. So there could be a bit of a power struggle. But if this isn't about a relationship, like this is just about you and your energy, in order to find this Queen of Wands energy that's kind of buried underneath some stuff, you're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go backwards in some way, which is a common retrograde theme as well with this Mars and Mercury transit. You're going to have to go back into the past and find something there, which is what's going to allow you to kind of burst through the brick wall of whatever this stagnant energy is that's like lying on top. I really feel it's like something in your navel, or like something beneath you, and then there's just like a layer of brick on top. Like that's the vision I keep getting, and it's just like this month is about clearing out the brick and then like wiping out the debris after that. So but allow this to be a process. Like you don't have to do this overnight, right? I mean, allow things to naturally come up as they come up. Obviously with this Eight of Wands, you will be quite proactive and busy. The Ten of Swords feels good. It feels like you're just ready to roll. You're ready to pull these swords out. Death card feels good. You're ready to end this cycle. This all feels pretty good. Yeah, I think towards the end of the month, as we're entering Sagittarius season, you're in this place where you are going backward very deliberately for a very real reason in order to dig out some of this debris. So you may not access this Queen of Wands fully in its upright position by the end of the month, but something comes in that helps you realize how you're going to get there, and you're kind of going off on a new course of self-discovery around the end of the month, which is what Sagittarius season is all about. It's all about self-discovery. So I think that's all I have for you guys. Again, it looks good. Just take your time. Be diligent. I don't have to tell you to do that. Stay focused. Stay engaged. I do have to tell you to do that. Yeah. I think the only big pressure I'm feeling is somebody in your life that you have to have a conversation with. But it really only feels like a little wobble. Once you do it, you're going to feel better. You're going to get back on track, and you're going to be ready to explore yourself and really take care of your own process and well-being this month. This really does feel like a lot of inner work. I'm not getting a lot of, career, money, home, relational hits. Yeah, you're doing the inner work this month. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. Again, if you have a personal concern, you can schedule something with me in the description box below. You can follow me on social media. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see the next Virgo video, and I will see you guys in December. Bye.